Arl is the one person who never appears in the opera, but never mind. My first guest spent part of her childhood in Northern Ireland. She is one of the most successful recording artists and celebrated. 11 million sales worldwide, 56 platinum discs at least. Born in Georgia, been rediscovering her roots and the rich choral tradition of her homeland. She has arrived with the wonderful ladies of the Gori Womans Choir. Welcome to Katie Melua. How nice to have you here.
Thank you. What a lovely welcome.
And
Thank
to the
you.
ladies of the Gori Choir. Say hello. We need a nice Georgian welcome. What would you say? Good evening or welcome?
Gaumarjos.
Wonderful. I just to check they can be nicely conducted. Tio is keeping an ear and an eye on them. I mean, Katie, fantastic, successful solo career. This is a new departure for you. How did you find, or I suppose get involved with this great choir and the choral tradition that's so strong in Georgia?
It really is. And the polyphonic singing, the folk singing in Georgia is on the UNESCO Intangible Heritage List. So in Georgia, being in a choir is considered a very serious thing. It's almost like an honour to be in a choir. But this choir is a classical choir, and they've been going since the 70s. So 1970 is when they were formed. And we still have 3 members who are now in the second altos. They started off in soprano 1 when they were 15. So they've been in the choir since, since the very beginning.
Going down in the best way.
Yeah, exactly.
Very important part of a choir.
Yes.
Is that sort of wonderful, rich colour.
Yeah.
So do you notice a difference in their singing to what you might have heard here in this country?
I certainly do. I mean, I think there's 2 things going on with the choir. First of all, I got to work with Bob Chilcott, who arranged the beautiful arrangements on the album. And
he sent us an email, by the way. He said he'd been working the choral arrangements and he had such a lovely time and has really enjoyed the project.
It was so out of this world having Bob involved. And knowing that there was such an expert in the team, working on this record was amazing. But what I learned from him and also watching the choir is, I think because of the language difference, because of where Georgian sits in the mouth when you communicate and speak, they have a very particular sound.
Yeah.
And Bob.
So what is different about it?
Well, there's this kind of I think for female voices, they go very low and they have very sort of deep voices for all, for females. And I think their language sits more in the throat and maybe more chest and perhaps more in the diaphragm. Although I know singing everywhere needs to be linked in with a diaphragm, but I think the English language is more forward in the mouth, so I think that creates a different type of vocal. But also I think with the Georgian culture, and because of how seriously the choir singing is taken, they practice 3 times a week, and it's quite a disciplined form.
Yeah. Well, you don't get to be excellent unless you do that. You kind of got talent, but you really have to work at it. You are going to perform live for us now, which is marvellous. I'm trying to count how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23.
23.
23.
That's it.
And are you going to float seraphically above then?
It feels, I've played with orchestras and I thought sung with orchestra, and I thought singing with an orchestra was majestic, but singing with a vocal orchestra is a whole other thing.
Well, you are going to float, because the first piece is called The Swallow, isn't it?
Little Swallow, This is Ukrainian Christmas carol.
Thank you. It's the only time we're allowed that word to be mentioned, as it's you, early in the season. Katie Melua and the Gori Womans Choir, live in the studio.
Щедрик, щедрик, щедрівочка, прилетіла ластівочка, стала собі щебетати, господаря викликати. Жили, господарю, подивися на кошару, там овечки покотили, заявнички народили. В тебе товар весь хороший, будеш мати збірку грошей. В тебе товар весь хороший, будеш мати мірку грошей. Хоч не гроші до голова, чобеші до чоброва, хоч не гроші до голова, народились. В тебе товар весь хороший, будеш мати змірку грошей. В тебе товар весь хороший, будеш мати мірку грошей. Хоч не грошей до голова, чобеші чорноброва, хоч не грошей до голова, тебе жінка чорнобров. Щедрик, щедрик, щедрівочка, прилетіла ластівочка.
Beautiful. The Little Swallow. Thank you so much. What a fantastically rich sound. Katie Melua is not bad either, mind you, I have to say. But the Gori Womans Choir, it's a really beautiful sound. I see what you mean about the depths of the voices, but it's a real rich, really, really rich in the lower register.
Yeah, I know. And I was just so blown away by, I guess, the power that seems to come out of them. And I think there is something about the human voice, out of all the instruments, which is really very special. I wish I had words to describe it, but this was what I wanted to explore and, in a way, get better at myself. You know, what is the art of singing? How does it work? How is it that people get so mesmerized by voices in song? And, you know, working with this choir, I feel like I've been able to get some answers, but I've still got a lot left.
But it is, as you say, it is living heritage. It is living. It's communicating so much about the human condition, about a country, about place. Timeless and wonderful. You went back. I mean, that's your home part of the world. There's a certain other famous gentleman, I think, comes from near Gori. We may have heard of Mr. Stalin.
Yes. Yeah, he has been mentioned a few times during the album launch. I mean, yeah, Gori is most famous for being the birthplace of Stalin.
Yeah.
And it's funny, during the recording, I mean, there's no recording studio in Gori. It's a small town about an hour's drive from Tbilisi, the capital. But we got given the culture centre, which kind of looks like a post-apocalyptic South Bank centre.
Oh, you make it sound really attractive.
Yeah, I mean, we've actually got pictures and footage of it on my socials, on Facebook and things like that. You know, and the conditions were pretty basic.
So you had to bring everything in.
We had to bring everything in. We had to ship 12 boxes of studio equipment, and we were there for an initial test recording of 4 tracks.
This is the start, but I say, sharp learning curve for someone like you who was, you know, okay, since a young age was looked after, was doing incredibly well. And I suspect there were people to do all that for you. So this is quite something. A big change.
Yeah, it's been a huge change, actually. I mean, I didn't realise until this project, and until I went my separate ways with my former collaborator of many years, Mike Batt, how much I was shielded from and how much I was protected from, and the responsibility of having to make creative decisions, making decisions about where to go artistically. I kind of thought I wanted them all, but actually it's tough, you know, and I'm thankful that my 20s, I could just, you know, show up and sing in a way.
Yeah. Well,
so
you know,
yeah, it's been a new chapter.
You made your impression. Your ground base was wonderful.
Oh,
this was not just somebody
was. coming
in. It's marvelous. So more of this, do you think, will happen? You're about to go on a tour around the country. I think everybody really excited. You've got a new recording.
Yeah, I mean,
recording out now. Is it? It's already out.
It is. It came out on Friday,
Right.
So this is a week of
In
release.
winter. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
What are you going to perform next?
I'm going to sing "Dreams on Fire," and the choir. I love their part in this. This is a really beautiful part for the choir.
Is this traditional? Is this you?
This is actually an original song. This was the lead single, and this is a song that I wrote with Don Black. Don did the lyrics. Who you know, I'm sure you'll know him from "Diamonds Are Forever," from "Ben," that he wrote for Michael Jackson. And what I love about Don is he's a true traditional lyric writer. You know, like in the old-fashioned sense. And those are the songs that still fascinate me. You know, those great classic songs.
Thank you very much indeed. Your choir await for collaboration.
Busy man, where am I on your list? You're so full of big ideas. Do you think that we can coexist? Will we be a pair in 20 years?
the magical combination of Katie Melua and the Gori Women's Choir from Georgia, all 23 of them. What a fantastic sound. So it's a new recording. It's out now, and you're going to come back and perform for us after the news, aren't you?
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Well, yes, please, us. Yes, thank you. Just say.
No, thank you.
It's, the tour is November, Guildford on the 23rd, Bristol, Southampton, Drury Lane, Leicester, Liverpool Philharmonic Hall, Birmingham, Bridgewater Hall in Manchester. It can make everybody very busy, but it will be an enchantment. Thank you very much indeed. Right now, the world-famous artist, that is Katie Melua, and from Georgia, the great Gori Women's Choir.
The seats were all dusty, the side doors were open, those aeroplanes were left there years ago. Grandad had spoken of forests in Russia. I pictured him walking in 10 inches of...
Well, if we only heard that track on international travel, everybody would feel a lot happier when they're sitting as the plane takes off. Katie Melua with the Gori Women's Choir. Thank you, Teo, as well, for conducting and for whistling. Teo Tiramua, keeping everyone in control. Listen, you're going to be busy on the tour.
Yeah,
It's not till the end of November, though, isn't that right?
Well, it starts actually next week
Next
in
week?
Europe.
Okay,
so we're
right.
going out to Europe and then we're coming back to the UK. And you're right, end of November.
So you're going everywhere.
Pretty much. Yeah,
And
we
a
start
little
in
rest
Germany.
every now and again, I hope, for the ladies'
No, we
voices.
will. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, lovely. Well, we look forward to having you back here Wednesday, 23rd in Guildford, Bristol, Southampton, Drury Lane in London, Leicester, Liverpool Philharmonic, Birmingham, and the Bridgewater Hall in Manchester. And the new CD in winter is out now on the BMG label. I suspect this is not the end of your collaboration with the wonderful voices of Georgia.
Oh, I certainly hope not. I certainly hope not. I hope we'll continue experimenting and trying lots of wonderful projects out.
Good. I have to ask for Teo's agreement. Is that all right? Would you like to work with her again?
He says, of course.
Of course. Okay. Yes. I'm going to say goodbye to all the wonderful ladies. Can you say goodbye to us in Georgia? Or all right. Thank you. What a pleasure it's been having you in the studio.